Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming on in. Welcome to the third episode of our Diamond Hunt Q&A podcast. I am joined, as always, by the one, the only, Smitty himself. Smitty, thanks for coming in today.
Hey, thanks for having me once again.
Oh, having me, you're the one that's doing this. I'm just here to help
Yeah.
facilitate. And thank you everybody for joining us in the chat today. We've got a couple of really cool things to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the previous changes that have gone into the game. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that's just recently been added. We're going to take some questions from the group. We pulled those down off of the Reddit, so we'll field those. And then we've also got, it wouldn't be a fun podcast if we didn't have a teaser or two, right, Smitty?
Absolutely. And I think you
Absolutely.
guys will be really happy with this one.
All right, sounds like you need to be a tad higher, so I'm going to fix that really quick. Let me turn you up a little bit there. So, let's get on into it. First things first, Smitty. How's your Sunday going? Are you having a good day? Are you glad to be
It's
here?
fantastic. I got my little beer here. I'm sitting in front of my computer. I got Diamond Heart open. Doesn't get better.
It doesn't get much better than that. So let's start with a recent change that I quite enjoyed having in the game, though I kind of wish I knew was coming before I personally opened about 20 or 30 loot
Yeah,
bags.
that was unfortunate. And I was watching you open them and I was like, oh, he's gonna be so pissed. Once I tell him, man. Yeah.
Shiny fish. So I have not yet seen a shiny shark, but this was the teaser image that I think that you first shared with us. Shiny
Yeah,
sharks
and
are in the game, right?
yeah, shiny sharks, shiny whales, shiny rainbow fish. It's all there.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that the shiny rainbow fish were in there as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's like if you get a shiny rainbow fish, you go to the dep, you buy a lottery ticket, and you win $1 billion because
Yeah.
it's insane. Like you never know. We'll see.
All right. Well, I think that the shiny fish are a great change. I'm always starving for energy, and I especially like that this is double the some of the best energy source in the game for the same amount of heat. So I think that this was a super cool change.
Correct.
I'm really glad to see it. Was there anything else that particularly drove this change, or was it just something that's like, you know what, maybe have that?
I was like, we have shiny trees, we have shiny loot bags or monsters, whatever. So I say, why not add it to the fishing skill? And I saw on Reddit some guy mentioned, why not farming with shiny leaves? So your leaf grows and it becomes shiny, and you get like 5 times the leaves or whatever, or the mushrooms or whatever you're growing. So that could be
Oh,
interesting too.
that
We
yeah,
could
that could
expand
be a
to
great
every single
change.
skill. Yeah.
That'd be very cool. I love, there's nothing better than waking up in the morning, opening up Diamond Hunt. Your eyes are bleary, you're kind of rubbing it away. You haven't put your contacts in yet, and you look down, you're like, oh shoot, shiny Stardust tree. My day just got way better.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It's all about RNG, right? So,
Yeah,
and when you hit that number, it's good.
it feels good. So I think that that was a great addition, and we also had what was the other big change I wanted to talk about? I want to talk about these spirits. These are like brand new. They're pretty high up there. I haven't had the chance to get to them yet, but tell us more about the Prometheum and the Ruinite spirits, Smitty.
Yeah. So these two new beasts that we see on stream now, I wanted to find a way or figure out a way to increase the quartz value in the market and the marble value because it's a low level item, and like lower level players have trouble. What I noticed is low level players have trouble getting money. So this is a way to increase the prices of low level ores. So the high level players who actually grind their magic level and their farming level to like farm these guys could exchange quartz by them eating the quartz or a marble, and in exchange for promethium or runite. That's kind of what I was going for, and I think so far it's going pretty well.
So this is definitely kind of a more end game focused thing for players, but
Absolutely.
I definitely like what you mentioned there with the quartz and the marble for lower level players. That's like a kind of a really cool duality, right? So you introduce this thing for the end game players, but the beginning players can now reap all the benefits as well by by scaling up and selling more of their stuff that they may not need.
Yeah, and especially runite is a long. It takes a long time to collect runite, so this is a way to get it faster in exchange for marble.
Yeah,
So
I'll never
do you
say
have any
no to more
runite?
runite.
Yeah, do you have any? I mean, where are you at right now?
I'm working my way up. I think I just hit 800 a couple weeks ago, so I'm kind of getting up there, and I'm working. My next goal is the Ruinite plate body. I don't
Hmm.
have any Ruinite armor yet, but I did boost my crafting up to 95, and I'm slowly trying to get the runite ore. I need to make that. I need the mold still. That's gonna be another sticky situation. But I figure
Yeah,
until I have the 75 runite ore, I don't need to worry too much about that. So that's my goal. I'm glad to see more runite in the game just because I'm working on that.
cool.
Yeah, I'm sure that many people out there can sympathize with wanting to have a little bit more runite in their pockets. Um,
Absolutely.
so let's do this. We've got a bunch of questions. Let's kind of jump right into them. We also have some shiny loot bags from the new area. Do you want to crack those open now, or should we wait a little bit for that?
I think we should wait till the end. And
Okay.
also, I think it's worth mentioning that we'll be giving 45 donor coins away. So 15 donor coins for 3 players. So stick around for the end of the stream so you can get your free donor coins if you hit the RNG, right? So you guys are used to that. So yeah,
That's a great reminder. Yeah. So if you guys are able to hang out in the Twitch chat, if you don't have a Twitch account yet, go ahead and snag one really quick. That way you can get in on the chat and we can make sure that you get set up. But for now, let's start with Reaper. Reaper 24/7 wanted to know: are there any plans for new rings?
um, I mean, sure. I mean, eventually there'll be new rings that are going to come out. It could be rings that like boost your attack level, your defense, your speed. It could even increase your max HP, your max mana. We have tons of possibilities here. Just a matter of where you get those rings is where we have to figure out first. And once that's done, I mean, we can do whatever. So yes, there is going to be more rings. Maybe not in the next patch or two, but it's coming.
Nice. Well, hopefully we see some of those soon because I've got several fingers that are as of now unadorned. So
Well, it's coded in a way where you can wear as many rings as possible. So if you have 500 rings, as long as they're different, you can wear them all.
there you go, styling on them.
Yeah.
Ultimate 2K18 wants to know if we're going to be able to sell Dragonstone, Dark Diamonds, and Blood Diamonds. I kind of feel sacrilegious asking if we can sell Blood Diamonds. It seems like quite
Seems
the.
all dark, man. This game,
Yeah,
jeez. Who made this game? Um, yeah, Blood Diamonds, no, because it's way too RNG dependent, and I don't want to make that so powerful that if someone gets a Blood Diamond, I just made, what is it? I mean, I don't know how much it would go for, but definitely for a lot. So I don't really want that. And on top of that, what I think is good is because we have a Blood Diamond key, if you get a Blood Diamond early on, like I think you did, Mav, but you got one pretty early on, and
yeah,
you have to kind of save it for your red chest in a way if you want to benefit the most out of your diamond or your Blood Diamond. So it kind of forces you, or it makes you have a goal to actually get somewhere to then use your Blood Diamond. So I think that's a good thing for that.
yeah. Actually, I think that's a great point because I got a Blood Diamond when I was like level 400, 500. Obviously, a long ways away from Red Chest, but as soon as I
Mhm.
got it, I woke up and I was like, "That's my goal. I need to get that pirate ship. I need to get myself up to the point where I can get a Red Chest and then crack it open and get the red orbs." Like that was a really cool objective for me to then focus on.
Yeah, but you can still use it on a normal chest, but it's probably better to save it, right?
Yeah, there was some math. I know when the red orbs first came out, there's a lot of people trying to crunch the numbers and figure out, okay, is it worth it saving it for a red chest? Do you go for the green chest? So I think just facilitating that sort of exciting conversation in the community was really cool. Personally, I was big on saving it for that red orb. I
Yeah,
personally used
so
mine on the red loot orb. Well worth it if you guys haven't picked one up yet.
absolutely, it's probably the best orb in the game, I would say, right? I mean, just to for those who don't know, the red loot orbs makes you change a loot bag into a gold loot bag once in 3 days, I want to say.
Yep, every 3 days.
Yeah, so it's pretty damn good.
Super nice. I actually think that there's a big, you may not notice it because it's a little bit more low key, but the red charcoal factory orb also super cool.
Yeah, it's true. We never talked about it, but it doubles the oil and it reduces the charcoal amount used. Correct?
Yeah, I
I
believe
mean,
that's
I made
correct.
the game, but
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that I do and I forget.
No,
But
I think that the red orbs were a great addition. Uh,
I think it reduces the charcoal use by 90% or something. It's
oh,
pretty
it's
insane.
crazy. Yeah, yeah. It almost makes it negligible. Speaking
Mhm.
of orbs, pleased to meet you. Wanted to know if we have any plans for adding extra blue, green, or red orbs into the game.
Okay, so yes, but I've been thinking also about elite achievements, and those obviously will come with perks, and those perks are going to be really good because elite achievements is a hell of an achievement, right? So I want to be careful not to release too many orbs too quickly to run out of perks for the elite achievements. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
So
understand where you're coming from.
before the orbs come out, I have a couple orbs in my head that I want to release. I'm gonna wait and finish the elite achievements, and then after that's done and I'm done with the perks, then I'm gonna add some new orbs in.
That's a
Because I
good
gotta make
idea.
the elite achievements really good because I started coding them in the summer. They're gonna be tough.
Yeah, I'm sure that the achievement is going to be well worth. Like, are we going to get an elite achievement special badge too?
Ooh, like a sigil.
Yeah.
Well, there's the achievement icon, right? So
Yeah, I guess that will
it,
probably go away, won't it, once you
yeah, everybody's gonna lose it in a second, and trust me, no one's gonna get it back in a day. So it's gonna be a while.
Well, that'll be fun. I look forward to hearing a little bit more information about
Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's gonna be. I can't wait to see the reactions when they go, "Oh shit."
that. Here we go. Jelly Bones. Jelly Bones wants to know who does the art for this game and why isn't the art for this game currently hanging in the Louvre?
In the Louvre, well, I called them and they didn't want to, so no. The art is mostly made by me, which is why it looks like shit. However, I do go on this site called Pixabay, Pixabay.com, and all their art there is free, and you can use it for commercial use and whatever. So I get it all from there if I can't make it myself. So yeah, and sometimes I have a few players who make a few sprites for me. Like the skeleton was revamped, I think a couple months ago. No, longer than that, and it was a player who made it. So
Yeah, the skeleton artwork is pretty cool. It's cool to know
it
that that
looks
was
pretty good.
player
It looks
made.
pretty good. I kind of wanted to keep the old skeleton there and make that one like a boss because it looks so cool. But I switched it up instead.
I think the old skeleton still shows up on the skeleton shiny loot bag, doesn't he?
Oh, does it? Okay,
Yeah, I think he does. If I, or at
okay,
least I remember seeing one at one point. There was definitely
okay.
an old skeleton model somewhere in the game.
I'll note that down. All right.
Superman's got two questions. Superman 514 wants to know if there are any planned or uses for magic bonuses other than the requirement to cast the spell.
I remember reading this and I saw a reply on that post, and for now, there's one spell that actually affects. Like, there's actually one spell that is affected by your magic bonus, and that's like one of the last, like the late game spell on the last page. It's called Thunder, and it does damage based on your magic bonus. So there is one aspect of the game where a magic bonus is actually scalable, but for now, that's it. But yes, I think in the future, we're gonna add more spells and stuff to do exactly that.
Nice, and I think that having that bonus at the end is cool, but it might not be a bad idea to move something up to more mid game because I didn't know
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
that spell was there. I mean, you got to if I'm correct, you've got to beat the elite mage
Yeah.
quest to get that
Yeah,
spell, right?
and that's a tough one. I
Yeah.
remember coding that one. It was tough because like I code the monster, right, and then to test it, I built myself a max account, which took me 2 seconds because I just made myself maxed,
Hmm.
and I lost and I lost and I lost, and then finally I beat him like once every 5 times based on RNG and whatever. So it's not easy, but yeah, I'm definitely open to changing old spells and make them scalable more on magic bonuses. Not extremely powerful, but at least making it scale to give you a reason to upgrade your gear, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, especially with I remember I think heal was a classic example, right? Before you get the magic achievement, heal always hits for like 2, and then after it,
Yeah.
I think it starts to hit for 3 or something like that.
Isn't it like a yeah? There's an achievement where it brings up your heal by some percentage.
Yeah, so even something small like that, is noticeable. It's something that does feel different to kind of grow into that, and as you get more powerful, see actual numbers
Absolutely, yeah,
increase.
absolutely. And sometimes when you're fighting, it's a difference of 1 HP. Sometimes like one more hit, you would have won, and that's that difference of that +1 heal every 5 seconds or whatever, right?
Oh, don't
So
remind me. I've had too many times, like at the end of Dark Paradox Tombs, it comes down to like I've got 5 HP, they've got 5 HP. Oh boy, here it goes.
yeah,
Hold my
close your
breath.
eyes and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you're out of mana. There's nothing more you can do. You just gotta pray. Pray to the gods of RNG.
Absolutely, and they never listen, but you pray anyways, right?
You gotta try. If you don't try, you'll never succeed.
Right.
Superman also wanted to know if there were any plans to make coal tradable.
I'm assuming they mean charcoal, like coal.
Charcoal, yeah, them. That's what they must mean.
Sure. I mean, I could add it in if people want it. Sure, I don't see a problem with that. So like, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
All right, there you go. How about this one from Russ CBMS? Is there going to be an update where you can roam around freely and play with players with your character like Diamond Hunt MMO? I feel like Diamond Hunt MMO always shows up, like every single podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. I mean, it's an ideal game. I mean, there's no. The point of the game is not to be always on your computer, and you're supposed to do other stuff while playing. But unless it's a whole other game, so yeah, I don't think so. I'm sorry.
There was another really good question that I think I want to jump to now from that mention, right? Because you said this is in heart, it's an idle game. It's something that you check every once in a while. But Linux Poser asked, as more and more endgame gameplay comes out, it seems that the amount that we interact with the game gets lower and lower. The rocket transforms from 8 hours to every week. Combat goes from 15 minutes to 8 hours. Farming all the low-level stuff seems pretty trivial and isn't as rewarding. Are we going to see endgame content that revolves around the user interacting with the game more?
Okay, I remember him asking me this a couple weeks ago, and I actually specifically told him to ask it on the podcast because it was such a good question. So basically, I've always had the mindset of the more you progress in the game, the more time off you have, and the more rewarding, like the more rewarding it is. So fighting the fields over and over is kind of annoying because it's 15 minutes, cooldown, and you get shitty loot, for late game players, versus fighting in the dark forest or whatever, or high end game content. You have more of a break, so you don't have to check every like 15 minutes, and you get much better loot, obviously, which is worth a lot more money. So that's kind of what I was going for with the end game stuff. But he mentioned also in his question, which is not. He also mentions that like by doing that, you're making your end game players play less because the cooldowns are so high, which got me thinking that's actually really true. And since they play less, that means they're less in chat, so the game is like less active and yada yada yada. So it's a really good point, but I'm not sure how to tackle that problem, or that, like, how to make it so it's not annoying to keep doing what you're doing, but to make it rewarding type thing. You, am I clear when I say that? Like,
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying, and it's definitely a tricky thing I'd imagine to balance. I personally love having the elements of like, all right, I'm about to go to bed for 8 hours. I want to be the
mhm,
most efficient with my time, so I'm going to plant something that is going to take 9 hours to grow, and then when I wake up, I can, farm it from there. Um,
right.
so I like having the varying times available to me, but I definitely agree with Linux in that it would be cool to have some high level content that gives substantially reduced rewards. However, when you add it up to, the same time frame as like one of those 8 hour cooldowns, it's about equal or maybe even slightly better.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
So it would be nice to have that choice. I think what Linux is saying is he wants the choice available to him and actually have it be a reasonable thing, right? Because it's
Yeah,
like you
so
said, nobody wants to fight in the fields, 12 times in a day.
well, especially if it's not worth it too, right? So,
Yeah.
but like you said, like when you go to bed, you're like, oh, this is 8 hour cooldown or whatever. It's perfect, right? But like, yeah, if you have a choice to say, oh well, since I'm on the computer and I'm not too AFK, I can actually go to this place instead and get reward from there.
It must be the
Yeah,
old RuneScape player in me that's just I gotta maximize efficiency at all times. I've always got to have that furnace running. I
don't
gotta
get me started on that game.
maximize the efficiency.
Yeah, yeah, I'm the same. I mean, if I lose a tick, man, I go "You shit." No, I'm kidding. But
Yep. You
yeah,
gotta
but
you gotta get every tick.
I said it in the first podcast, I think, but like that's why I kind of made this game. I want it to be more AFK than RuneScape, and RuneScape is already really AFK. If you guys don't know, I'm sure some of you do. So I wanted something more AFK, and it has the kind of the same feeling for rewards. So it's kind of what I went for. But I see where he's coming from, and it's a really good question, and it got me thinking a lot.
Well,
Yeah,
it's good to think about it. I think it's definitely something that in the future we might yeah, good to think about.
definitely like next end game content, I'll be thinking about that and try to figure out something for sure.
Russ CBMS also wanted to know if you're thinking about a prestige system or ranks tiers. I'm not sure what he means by ranks or tiers, but a prestige system,
Okay,
for those that haven't played a game like Call of Duty, usually you get all the way to max level and then you're like, all right, let's give it all up. Let's go back to zero. And now everybody knows that I am prestige 2. I am exponentially better because I've already gone through the game and I'm going to play it all over again.
right. So this is actually a pretty cool idea. And in Diamond Hunt Offline, the offline version of the game that was made 5 years ago, there is a ranking system where once you reach a certain number of achievements or levels, like the end game content, you can reset your account and you have these permanent buffs, if you will, for your next rank. And then you got to do more stuff, and then you prestige again or rank up again or whatever, and then you reset your account and you go over and over again. I love the idea. The problem here is, are people willing to reset their whole account and then like for let's give like the perfect example. The rank number one, aggro, like would he reset his account to restart and lose his number one? I don't think he would, right? Like he has so much XP over level 100 that resetting his account would be like a burden to him, and he would lose his spot in the high scores. Correct?
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
good point. It's something that I definitely see both sides of the question. But I think the question was, do you have any plans as of right now to implement anything like that? Maybe leveling past 100, like soft levels or prestige?
okay. In my head, prestige means like everything resets. Is that not what that means?
That yeah.
If you
So I think ranks and tiers might have been the other side. So like prestige is definitely everything resets.
okay,
Ranks and tiers, he might be asking about, yeah, kind of like a soft level. Like, okay, aggro's got, you know, actually, I just want to take 1 second here to say aggro is a great guy. He is phenomenal. I always love talking to him. However, Sharker's taking back number one right now. So if we're talking about number one, we got to
oh
mention
really?
Sharker 1987. He's in the lead right now.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah,
aggro.
25,
What's
25
happening?
million XP.
Oh boy. I hope you have Stardust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that maybe the ranks or tiers Russ might be talking about it are something like a soft cap, kind of like in Diablo, where once you hit max level, you then have time to level up and
Paragon levels, I think they
yeah,
call them. Yeah.
Paragon levels, I think is what they call them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You see, from what I thought, like when I read the question a couple weeks ago, I was thinking, or whenever it was posted, I was thinking what I could do is you could reset your account, so everything goes back to zero, same exact game. However, you have like a special icon beside your name, like not even a sigil, not like a tag, like a moderator tag, but like something else that shows that you've prestiged once, and then you just play again, and then once you reach max level, you can do it again. But I don't know. That's what I thought in my head when I was reading the question, but I don't know. It's got me thinking, but I'm not sure if I want to do that.
An interesting thing to think about. Yeah, I
I'd
feel
like
like
to get feedback from the players and see what they think about that. Actually,
we're getting nothing but head scratchers today. It's just like every single question is like, man, now we gotta think about that.
it's a good question. They're good questions. That's why like it's so we put so much thought behind them because they're actually good questions.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah.
Um, Russ was also asking us this final question here. Oh, he's got one more down there. Do you want to do anything like other game modes, hardcore, something else? Do you have any other plans for other game modes within the same game?
Actually, I do have a plan for another game mode. I'm not
Hmm.
sure. It depends on the community what they say and what they want. But it would be a hardcore account, but a team hardcore account. So what that means is you can sign up with four of your friends, three of your friends, two of your friends, teams of four maximum, whatever, and you can actually trade between them. And there's no like you can do whatever. You can give diamonds to your team. You can take diamonds from your team. You can share whatever you want. It's all shared. However,
Interesting.
you would be off the leaderboards, and of course, no market, and you can't convert to a normal account.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Those would be the three things that you could not do with those accounts. But you could have fun with your friends and team up and share your items.
That's kind of cool. That still keeps the same spirit of the current game. Probably wouldn't take nearly as much changes to make it like a full team game. But definitely gives that kind of friend team element to it. That's a great idea. I for one am all for that.
Okay, well, if people like it and you like it, it's going on the list of to dos.
Put it on the to-do list.
Yeah, that could be really fun with friends though, like messing around and like seeing who has shitty RNG.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Yoshiman 400 wanted to know, have you ever thought of implementing hero builds and/or revising the level up bonus in the combat discipline?
Yeah, this is another great point. So for now, combat is just you level up, and each time you get a level, you get one HP. I think you get like plus one HP as your maximum HP, which between me and you kind of sucks because it's just like okay, whatever. So from what I understand from his question is, have you guys played Castle Crashers, where when you level up, you can put points into your attack, defense, or speed or whatever?
Yeah,
Okay, well I don't not to get away from the question, but it could. I think it kind of. I think he wants that. I guess because I from by reading the question, that's what he. I guess you like you can build your hero and like upgrade your attack, defense, or accuracy, or your whatever. based on your level, and then you'd use your points into your specific build, right? I'm not sure if I'm getting that right, but if I do implement something like that, it's a whole rework for combat, and it would change a lot of things.
You're telling me that there may be an evolution of combat in the future?
Oh my god,
Sorry,
nothing like that. Nothing
sorry.
like
Any RuneScape players out
that.
there did not mean to trigger any PTSD.
I don't want half my user base to quit. So
Also, I
no,
do want to take a quick moment here to say, welcome back to number one there, Agrodon. he
no
he
way.
blew a little
Seriously?
Stardust, and 25 million XP later is back on top.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
this is
Someone
like
has
an
to fight
arms
King
race.
Sharker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we've got Sharker in the chat too, this could be bad. The Stardust market could just go wild here as they all blow their things to get number one. Um,
Guys, increase your prices for Stardust.
yeah,
Now's the time.
crank it up now.
The,
This is your
the demand
opportunity.
is there.
Um, Reassigny has a good question here. I think he's probably just angling for some inside information. He wants to know any new future animals that are going to be eating anything other than wheat and wheat seeds, tomatoes, potatoes, new type of food. Is there anything that we should be saving up on now? Because we're the guys that get to show up for the podcast and get that insider information.
Honestly, I don't want to disappoint anybody, but for now, animals, I can tweak them for sure, but no new animals for now. And I'm trying to figure out who eats tomatoes. Like, which animal eats potatoes or tomatoes?
None of them.
So it's kind of like not in the game, like in general, in the planet
Oh
Earth.
yeah.
Like, I can't figure, I can't pinpoint my stuff on an animal.
We could make some sort of. I feel like if you left a tomato out, bees would just swarm it. And I know that if we added bees, Bee Lord Meekert Agent would just be he would be ecstatic. He would be off the charts. He's been asking for bees for like months.
And his B sigil. And someone mentioned his
There
level
he is. I
15.
knew he was there. I knew he was in the chat.
And he wants his B sigil, but he's only killed 54. Tell
He's
you
gonna.
what, if you kill 10,000 bees, you'll get your B sigil.
Those are rookie numbers. You're gonna have to pump that up. 10,000 bees, and you can have the symbol.
Yeah,
I'm gonna quote you on that. I'm gonna see if I can't beat Meekert Agent to the Bee Lord sigil.
10,000. It's yours.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. First person at 10,000 gets a special bee sigil. How about that?
Yeah. So to answer the question, no, I don't think so. And I want to lean towards tomatoes and potatoes for energy versus like animal food.
Yeah, that's. I
So
personally love making some soon to be redrawn as poutine, potato with cheese. Still waiting for that change there, Smitty.
it's true. I said I would do it too.
Yeah, we gotta pop that one up to the top of
It's
the
on the
list.
list, but I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up the list.
Meekert Agent B Lord himself wants to know if you're handling market bots and if there's any behind the scene updates in place to help tamp down the recent increase in people making market bots and alt trading.
Okay, so first of all, every time I work on the market bot detector or like the banning detector, I never make a statement on it because I don't want people to stop cheating after they figure out that the system's more robust. If that makes sense. 'Cause I want to catch them, right? So
Yeah,
every time I work on the market bot, I'm not going to say anything. But the way it works now is just to give you a brief intro of how it works. Is I think I mentioned it before, but it's basically flags that are triggered on players that are suspicious. And once they are flagged, they go into some special file, which I go check it out. Then I can see all their transactions, the time, blah, blah, blah. And based on that, then I make the final decision to say, yeah, he's all trading, or no, he's not all trading, or he's not botting. Because I mean, someone who buys an item really fast might be botting. Someone who buys an item really fast 100 times is botting. Because I do get flags which are like false, right? Because people like they refresh the market, they send them, they pick it up right away, and it gets flagged as like a instant buy. They call it, or I call it, and that's not necessarily a bot. So it's tough. You gotta be careful not to ban people for nothing, right?
yeah.
The
But
last thing you want to do.
let me just say, if you're out there running a market bot, especially if you're
Mhm.
running a really, really bad one, I think we had what a huge bat skin bot that got hit just recently. Can we talk about that briefly? Is that okay? Can we divulge that information?
Well, I guess it's too late, right?
Well, I don't have to give any specifics.
No, it's fine. Yeah. So
So
that's obviously pretty straightforward.
just to give you guys an idea, this stuff is watched. There are systems in place. We found that like 35% of all of our recent Batskin transactions were sold at 1 gold, and 31% were sold over 100K. So somebody is out there running the Batskin market.
Tell
And
somebody I have the name. But
oh yeah, you've got it. So know that we're watching. Smitty's out there. He's always watching.
also, just because you're not banned after you did this, doesn't mean that you won't get banned in a month. Because you're gonna get flagged, and I'll check later, and then you'll get banned. So,
It's not worth
I
it.
mean, it's unfair to other players who are actually playing legit. So, it's the only reason we do it.
Yep. Stay within the lines. How about the Gem Goblin glitch? I think we talked about that last podcast, didn't we?
Oh, did we?
I
Oh, I think
remember.
we did.
Yeah, I remember talking about it. Maybe not in great detail, just that it was there and what caused it. But if you want, we can spend more time talking about it now, or we can keep rolling. We got plenty of questions
Well,
to
I
get
can
through.
answer really quickly since it was on podcast too. So basically, there was you guys all know the Gem Goblin. So basically, the way it works is every time you fight in an area, given a 1 in 1,000 chance to hit the Gem Goblin. So if it's fields or if it's dark forest, it doesn't matter. It's always 1 in 1,000. So what the person was doing was sending to the server that he wanted to fight in a gibberish area that does not exist. So not fields, not forest. It was like whatever. It could be like AAA, and the server accepts the message, and it looks for the area, does not find it, and instead of like leaving the function, not to get too technical, it continues and it tries to the 1 in 1,000 to get the Gem Goblin fight. So what I noticed is someone was sending these packets to the server every second, and once he hit the 1 in 1,000, because the area was a fake area, so they would never get into a fight. Once they hit that number, then they would get into a fight with Gem Goblin. So right away, like it was a bug in the system.
Yeah, an
So
interesting
that's the
bug too. That's some pretty.
it's an oversight because the problem is it should have been made so if you're fighting in an area, it has to be fields, forests, caves, volcano, whatever. And if it does not equal to one of those things, then you exit there. You close the packet, it's done. But this tried to find the goblin afterwards, despite the fact that it was not a real area.
A very interesting glitch for somebody to find and take advantage of, though. Like, just kind of
Yeah,
curious from like a computer science security standpoint that someone riddled
I
that
think
out.
this guy knew he knew about programming, and he was betting that I forgot to check that if statement or check that thing, and he got it. I mean, it was good though because like I saw him, he opened like 60 bags I think, and I tracked all the diamonds to which accounts they were traded to, which got removed, and he got banned. So there was no damage done. It was not a big deal for the in terms of economy, which is super good, right?
Yeah, and we didn't have to roll back, right? You weren't.
No, everything's good. Everything's good. No rollbacks.
Whew,
Thank God. That's the last thing you want to do in a game.
that's true. How
Yeah.
about one last one from Meekert here? He was wondering about how you manage your connections for your database. So how do you manage so many open connections for the database?
Okay, this is pretty technical. So for those who have a bit of a background in computer science and programming, um, the way it works is you have a connection to connect to the database, and your connection is open. And once you do your transaction, then you close your connection. However, if you have like 500 people online, that means you have to have 500 connections open to access the database. However, they have this thing called connection pools where what you do is you open 50 connections, for example, or 30 connections in this pool, and every time you want to access the database, you borrow a connection, you use that connection, you get the data from the database, and then once you're done, you take the connection and put it back in the pool. So instead of having 500 open connections, you have 30. So that's essentially how I manage the connections. Like, there's not actually 500 open connections when there's 500 players online or 1,000. It's a pool that you all share connections between you guys. It's pretty technical, but it's what it is. It's how it works, and that's how most games today work. To have so many concurrent users online.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out there for anybody that's at a point to pick a career trajectory. If you're kind of going into secondary or final school, definitely consider computer science because then you get to figure out all these sorts of cool things. And just like Smitty, you can make your own game. You can make Diamond Hunt. Well, no, you could make Diamond Hunt 3. That would be against the rules. But you can make
but
something very similar.
but
Oh,
just to add to that, like what's so cool about software and like programming is that it doesn't cost you a dime to do this stuff. You open up your notepad, you got your keyboard, and off you go. There's like nothing else to it. Versus the company or anybody else who wants to start manufacturing, I don't know, golf clubs. It's expensive, you know. It's going to cost you a lot of money to start. This is free.
That's
That's the
true.
big advantage of
But we
software, I
could
think.
we could just spend the next like few hours trying to convince people to become computer scientists.
We could
We,
do
we,
that, but we
we,
should
be-
move
we
on to the
better
next
get away
question.
from that. Yeah. How about we talk
Yeah.
about snape grass? Somebody wants to know if Bob's uncle can farm snape grass, or if that's something that's kind of beyond his expertise.
You see, I was coding that quest to add the Bob's uncle, and initially snake grass was there. You could actually plant it and grow your snake grass. However, I removed it before releasing it because I didn't want to down the price of snake grass in the market because I know it's a pain to grow and people have a lot of seeds. But that was my thought process. I was like, I don't want the price to go, way down, and new players who play get the seed relatively early. So it's all about the early players too. I don't want to like
That's
make
true.
them.
Yep.
It goes back to the marble and quartz thing with the runine and the promethium from the golems from the farming animals. It's kind of the same mindset that I had, but I might actually go back and add it though.
We'll put
Yeah,
that down as a revisit. Thank you, IndieFace, for that question.
yeah.
Yoshiman400 wants to know when a player logs in after a substantial amount of time offline, they'll only see one pop-up dialogue. For example, a fish has been auto-cooked, you've mined a diamond, there's a game update teaser, etc. How does the game determine which of these gets popped up first? And is there any possibility of making some sort of queue system or something so that no one ever misses a pop-up?
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely something that has to be added. It's a necessity, and like it'd be a good QOL, quality of life update. Because right now the way it works, the priority is the last pop up that triggers is the one that shows to your screen. So if you get a diamond and then you get a blood diamond, the blood diamond will show first. And if it's not April Fools, you'll actually get it, right? But yeah, I think it's a good idea to invest time into making a system where it actually records every single thing that you get and it actually shows you with like a notification box or something that like a scroll box that continues to get populated as you get stuff in the game and when you log in. So
That would be interesting. So, like, if you're offline
yeah,
for more than 6 hours, when you log in, it shows you this is how much stone you got, this is how many seeds you
hmm
got. That would be kind of
everything,
interesting.
yeah, everything that you got or lost because animals eat, right? So you can see also what you lost, which could be cool.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so that's definitely yeah. I'm writing that down. That's a good idea.
And just to clarify for Yoshi, man, even though you're missing those pop-ups, the stuff is still there. So if you get a blood diamond and then you get a diamond after that, you'll get the notification for the diamond. You won't get one for the blood diamond currently, but both are still in your inventory. You're not getting
Absolutely.
you're not getting cheated out of anything.
No, it's just a display thing, but
Yeah,
it's nice to have. So
and of course it's all limited by your time offline, which maxes out at 6 hours or 8 hours. That's right, Smitty?
8 hours for free and 10 hours for donors.
8 and 10. There you go. Yeah. So even if you're logged off for longer than that, you don't get any extra perquisites. You only get the 8 hours of offline time.
Yeah, just imagine someone logging a year after how many ticks I have to generate.
Oh
It's
boy,
gonna crash the server.
that would be crazy. Jangle Bear Jones. Jangle Bear Jones has a very specific question about a very specific somebody. He wants to know if there's any opportunity for him to court and possibly get it on with Bobette. To each their own, Jangle Bear Jones. I'm going to direct this one to you, Smitty. Are we
Why
gonna?
would someone do that to Bob?
That's a great question.
Bob has been finding your seeds for all this time, and now you want to screw him over? No way. He can't do that.
That's fair. Maybe Bob can have an estranged, cousin. We have like a female and a male cousin come into play, and then we can make a whole dating simulator around it. Completely change Diamond Hunt. Scrap the diamonds.
Jesus.
That's
No,
that's
I'm
probably
gonna
that's like
pass.
that's like Diamond Hunt 6. No, sorry,
Yeah,
8.
well,
8. We've already got plans up through Diamond Hunt 7, Electric Boogaloo with Despacito 2 DLC.
ask me in 30 years, we'll see.
Once we really run out of content ideas.
Yeah. I
Russ
should say though,
CBMF.
like
Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say like this third podcast and these questions are, except that one, are actually like really good. I'm happy to read that. 'Cause I was thinking like, okay, podcast number three, it's gonna be the same questions, but absolutely not. It's really good. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
No, no, I was just saying it's a good thing we've got some tomfoolery going around. um, I was gonna say Russ CBMS had one more question in here. He wanted to know about the opportunity for some sort of a lotto or a jackpot system where people pay in an amount of money and then randomly it selects one winner who wins all the money.
Um, Before I answer that question, can I go to the bathroom?
Sure, that
I'll
seems
let you open the
reasonable.
loot bag. Do you want to
Yeah,
open the
let me
loot
do
bag, or
that. Let me
I'll,
switch on over and we'll open up some loot bags here. You'll have a chance to.
let me get another drink and I'll go to the bathroom and I'll be back in 30 seconds, minute.
All right, so I'm gonna throw on up this capture pane here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 30 loot bags here, but they're all shiny. We've got 10 shiny dragon loot bags, uh, 10 of this guy. I wish Smitty was here; he could tell us what this guy is, and then 10 of the little pixie stick guys. We're gonna crack some of these open while we wait for Smitty to return. Um, so let's see what we get here. So each of these is going to be 10 loot bags from their respective loot. Um, if you're a new player to Diamond Hunt, these are some crazy high level things that we're going to be getting, right? Stardust, bones, but look at this: 5 runite ore, lots and lots of dark mushrooms. We got some fish stew. I love me fish stew. Um, so not bad from the first dragon here. Now, you guys are gonna have to remind me in the chat because I haven't gotten to this point of the game yet. What are we looking at for the? There's a necklace, right? I remember there's like a life necklace that can come out of a specific loot bag. If you guys know what that one's from, let me know because I'm looking to see if we get any of those. I think that's the really expensive drop from this tier, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't done too much. Life amulet from the droids. Okay, cool. Well, we'll get to them in a second here. We're gonna stockpile our bait here first. Yeah, you guys will have to forgive me. I did not code this, so I've not made it there yet. We're gonna make it there eventually, but we'll keep cracking open some dragon loot bags here. Plenty of ruinite ore. More. Look at this, like 2 fish stew every time. Don't worry, Smith. If you need to go to the bathroom for longer, I'm keeping people entertained here. We're cracking open some dragon loot bags. We're getting
It's okay.
fish stews left, right, and center.
Let's finish them. Let's do them all now then.
All right, cool. We'll speed this up here. We're gonna look for some good drops. Oh, so here we go. This is a valuable drop from the dragon, right? The spikes. That's how you make the spiked ruinite armor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And those are not tradable on the market, correct? The spikes aren't.
Are they? Are they not?
I'm not level 30 on this account, so I can't. This is just a test account, so I can't tell you for certain. But no, looks like they're not
Okay.
tradable on the market. So that's the main drop from the dragon, right? Or the ruinite spikes. And then the Dragonfire Potion. So I was telling people I haven't had the chance to get up here. Is the Dragonfire Potion required for fighting the dragon?
It's not required. You can still fight the dragon without it, but you're going to take a lot of damage. But I know some people have beat the dragon multiple times without it. So
I'm all
basically, the way it works is. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no. I was just gonna say I'm all in on this fish stew I keep getting. It's gonna be fish stew for days up in here. But sorry, go ahead. Dragonfire
Yeah, I
Potion.
was saying. I think if I remember correctly, you have a 1 in 10 chance to get hit by the dragon's fire, which hits up to like 70s. So if you can kill the dragon fast enough and tank one hit, you should be okay. But the dragonfire pot, well, the potion, what it'll do for you is it'll tank the damage for you, so you'll take 0 damage essentially. Actually,
Ah,
you can drink one after and see what it looks like for the players.
yeah, we can take a look at that. I see. I did just get a ruined defender, which I think is the primary loot drop from the golem guys. That's his main contribution outside of like all this promethium and runite I'm getting. Look at that, 12 runite bars, man.
Yeah, defender's nice too. Another one. My
Yeah,
God.
just rolling in the loot. Look at this. So these are 100 total loot bags that we're gonna open for each type. So these are all shiny. Man, another defender. Maybe I'll just make this my account. I don't mind resetting my stats. I go back to level 9. No, I've got wow, 3 defenders so far. This account will not be long for this
Three
world, I imagine.
defenders?
Yeah, yeah. Let me just finish opening these up, and we'll do a
That's
we'll
like a
do a
rare
review
build.
of like everything that we got here. There's another defender. Wow,
Wow. Oh my God.
RNG is smiling on me. This is some great stuff. Let's see if we can get one of those
Are you kidding me? It's
life amulets.
insane.
Wow, man, I gotta get up to this level of combat. These are some cool drops. Yeah, now we know they gotta nerf the drop rate. No, this is just for you guys. This is so you can see all of this lucky RNG. Maybe it'll rub
No,
off
no,
on
it's
you.
same drop rate. I swear to God,
Yeah.
nothing is tricked.
Oh, so Stardust Seeds can actually drop from these guys, huh? I thought you could only get those from the potion. That's kind of interesting. I didn't realize that those could come from the loot bag. Look at this. We got striped crystal seeds. We got striped crystal leaves. Let's keep going. Let me see one life amulet here. We got 3 more loot bags. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's a 1 in 200 chance for the life amulet. Is that right?
I'm seeing 6 bags left.
Oh yeah, you might be if you're watching the stream. I'm going through them quick.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sorry because I
Yeah,
had the
it'll be
mic
a little
with
behind.
Discord.
Yeah, you've got the immediate reaction. Well, unfortunately, no life amulet. But we did get look at this. We got 300 dark bones, 600 regular bones, 92 ruinite ore, 416 promethium ore, 88 ruinite bars. Let's see, no logs. Look at all these seeds. 12 striped crystal leaf seeds. I'm thinking that I gotta get there. I gotta push up and hit this next level.
Can you go on the market real quick?
I can.
I just gave you a bunch of levels.
Yep, I can see the market. What are we looking for?
I want to see the price for the amulet.
The current price for the amulet is 4 billion.
Are people actually buying it for 4 billion? I don't believe it.
I don't think so. There's only one up. So
Okay, it's that scarce. Okay, or scarce.
yeah, and
Okay.
there's no rune defenders up right now either. So I think people are still getting to that level. Like I said, I've definitely not made it up there.
Well, yeah, 5 now. You might as well post them. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Yeah. We'll throw those up for 1 gold apiece. So 1 amulet has sold so far, and it sold for 5 bill.
Wow.
Very nice. All right, cool. Well, you're back. Let's jump back into our questions here. And we'll continue. That was a fun little loot bag thing, though. I definitely need to. As soon as I get my runite plate body, I'm gonna be working on up to that level.
Cool.
Okay, where were we at? We talked about Jangleberry Jones and his infatuation with Babette. We talked about we were going to talk about the lottery system right before you
Right,
left.
right, right. Okay, so to make it short, I think the idea sounds cool, but it's a good way to make players quit because when I get bored in a game like RuneScape, I go to the duel arena, I stake my bank, I lose it all, then I quit, and then I come back 2 years later because you want to play again, and your bank is empty because you staked it all away. You're like, oh fuck, well, fuck this, I'm gonna quit again. I don't want that same situation to happen in Diamond Hunt because people who quit the game come back 6 months later and they have all their stuff. But I guarantee you that if this system exists, they will sell all their crap and they're gonna try to win the lottery, and then they're gonna lose. Then they're gonna quit for real, and when they come back, they're gonna have nothing.
Yeah, no,
But
that's a great point.
I mean, it's up to them to gamble. So in the sense, it's their fault. But I was never really a big fan of gambling in the first place. But I mean, if people want it, I'll do it. I can add it in for sure. So I guess we could have a vote on that one day and see what people want. But for me, I don't like it because it's a good way to quit the game, if that makes sense. As a person who wants to get the player count as high as possible, yeah.
Got to keep it up. Oh, we got a very high wind coming on up.
Oh,
This is actually this has been asked in the chat. I saw I'm a guest ask it. If anyone else has asked it, sorry I missed it. But Reaper and Pasta Sauce 27 also wanted to know any plans for another event. You got anything on the back burner for a new event?
it's funny because just before this podcast, I was talking to Maverick about an event that I was potentially wanting to put together, but I don't think we should talk about it yet
Okay,
because
but
it's
there's
nothing is set in stone. So I don't want to get your hopes up for nothing.
so you're thinking about it, but we don't have anything to share just yet. It's on
Well, I want to do it. It just depends if I can find the right
the right
resources,
stuff. Okay,
the
all
right
right,
stuff.
all right. Well,
So
we'll
we'll
keep
keep
our
it at
ears
that
to
for
the
now.
ground.
But keep your stay around. Look at Reddit every once in a while, and I'll post it on Reddit as soon as I have the confirmation that I can do it.
Rock on.
But it'll be cool if it happens. It'll be really cool.
Yeah, this year question mark. Do you think we can say for sure there will be another event within the year?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
For sure. There you go. We
Yes.
can give you a for sure on that one. Oh, here's a question. Here's a question for me. This question's for Maverick. How does the mod team communicate, and what is your role? So as mods, we have no additional powers that the normal players don't. We don't believe, contrary to contrary belief, we do not get any extra RNG, no extra gems. Smitty doesn't dole out any favors.
I didn't pay him to say that. Eh? It's him. It's all
No,
him.
that's true. This is from the heart. Um, we get the fun of interacting with the community, and the work that comes from being a mod. The less fun part is that any time that the community gets a little out of sorts, we got to try and be there to kind of keep you guys in line. So, anytime that you're breaking the chat rules, we'll come in and we'll do a ban. If someone's going explicitly off the edge, we want everybody to have a good time, right? So our primary objective as mods is to keep chat within a reasonable level of shenanigans, and enforce the rules that Smitty's laid down there. We've got some side communication that we do as a team, um, just to kind of keep track of, like, I saw this going on. Let's keep an eye on it. This is a particular user who's been causing some trouble. I gave him a short ban, but not a long one. Um, so there's definitely some communication that goes on between us. But know that if you're interested in being a mod, you're not missing out on a whole lot more than just kind of missing out on the chat. Because I definitely feel like as a mod, I don't get to have nearly as much fun with shenanigans in the chat as I used to. So I'm keeping it PG for you guys. We got to make sure that everybody's out there having a good time. And that is our goal. Keep the Diamond Hunt community great.
Yeah, it's a good point that you say, like, in chat you can't be like trolling and stuff. Even though trolling is like legit, like it's allowed if it's like playful and stuff. But as a mod, you have to stay professional, so you have no choice to like just not go in on the joke and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a part-time volunteer job. I gladly do it though. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I get emails every day. People want to be mod all the time, but it's easy. It's hard. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard to evaluate people and how they'll react afterward. But anyways, doing a good job.
Thank you very much, Smitty. I appreciate that. And thank you, community, for being great. You guys make it pretty easy for me. Honestly, I don't have to hand out too many mutes. It's usually just the every once in a while.
The occasional spammer, but it
Yep.
is the internet, so I mean,
Spam's the biggest one.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been good. Actually, it's so fun to go and chat and just chat with you guys. It's good. It's always a pleasant experience. So keep it up. It's a lot of fun.
Cosmotail wants to know if you plan on reintroducing any of your content from the previous games.
Okay, so what he means by this is, in Diamond Home, was it one or offline where there was a population where you would actually build houses and you'd have hotels and you could actually get a population and you'd have like nuclear power plants to give electricity to your town and stuff. So that used to be a thing, but I think he's talking about that by his question. And so far, there's no plans for that because the next thing on the list, which will be, I'll tease it at the end of the podcast, it's pretty big from my point of view. So unfortunately, no. I'm gonna say straight up no. None of that.
No plans for that. How about for an enchanted scythe? Reaper wants to know if that's something that we might be able to see.
Yeah, yeah. So I remember I teased this a long time ago, and I wanted to figure out a way to make the enchantment kind of unique and not just like, oh, now it's enchanted, so my scythe has like +2 attack. Kind of boring, right? It's fun to have because you have more attack, so it's nice. But I want to like change up a bit, so I thought of an idea, which obviously kind of came from RuneScape, where you'd have a special attack bar like in the game, and if it was enchanted, you could use your special attack bar to, use the special attack for that weapon. So, for example, the dagger could hit like twice, or it could poison the enemy or something. And the skeleton sword could like, if you use a special attack when you hit a skeleton, he will give you more bones or something. It could be anything, and I think it's a good way to like put some loot or like some upgradable scroll, where you use a scroll on your weapon. That could be a drop from like mid-level game for like dagger and skeleton sword. Then late game have like the enchantments for scythe as a drop. So it'd be like a spell scroll, which you'd use on your weapon to enchant it.
I
If
think
that
that
makes
would
sense.
be a great way to kind of level out the weapon curve as well, because usually
Hmm.
it's like, okay, I got a stinger. I'm gonna use my stinger until I manage to get myself a scimitar, and like.
Yeah, and especially the skeleton sword, you have it for such a long time that you feel like you're never upgrading your sword until the scythe. I think it's the next. Apart from the bow,
The
the scythe
bow,
is the
but
next. Yeah,
yeah,
so there's a big
bows are
gap
very
there. So
expensive.
so it'd be perfect like between the skeleton sword and the scythe to have a spell scroll for the enchantment of the skeleton sword. it's perfect. It's a perfect gap to fill, and for sure, that's gonna come in pretty soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know. We only have a couple more questions left before we get into our teasers and our donor coin giveaway, so stick around just a couple more minutes here, guys. Reaper wanted to know, apart from you and your moderators, are you running the game alone? Do you have help from anywhere else, or is it all Smitty?
Um, I wouldn't say alone because there's like all these open source software that I use, and I can't credit myself to making the whole thing without those tools. Like Pixabay is the perfect example. Like, there's no way I made all those images, so it's a really big help from them. And I've actually donated to them, and I've donated to Eclipse and Paint.net, which I also use because they've been such a it's their software is so good and it's free. So I think they deserve a bit of recognition. And if I could think of anything else, it would be my accountant, I guess, who does my taxes for Diamond Hunt, if that counts.
That counts. No, that's actually really good. I never would have thought that you would probably need a separate accountant for Diamond Hunt.
Yeah, I pay an accountant, which is one of my friends, and she does all my things for Diamond Hunt, which is fantastic. All the headaches are gone because once you get into government and businesses and taxes, you have to be careful and you have to make sure you're doing your stuff right. So she takes care of all that.
Do you pay
It's
her in
great.
donor coins?
No, no, that'd be too easy. No, no,
Unfortunately
she
not.
wants the good old Canadian dollar. So
Yeah, well, maybe somewhere out there we can find an accountant. Nah, there's probably no one who'll do as good of a job and only accept donor coins.
no, there's no way. But it's fun though. She enjoys it too because she's pretty new in the market because she just got out of school. So it's fun to like me too. I just got out of school and we're just like, oh look, I have a small little project. Do you want to do the work? And she's like, yeah, sure. It's a lot of fun, and
Smitty,
she's
I'd
learning a lot too, and so am I.
I'd say that you've got one more thing that you've got to thank though for your work on Diamond Hunt. And I'd say that's the community because we get so many awesome ideas that come from people on Reddit, people here in
Oh
the
yeah, look at these
podcasts.
questions. These things like my list. I have 7 lines of stuff I want to add because of these questions. It's good. I
Yeah.
mean,
So
it's niche, but it's good.
you players out there, keep coming up with ideas. Keep posting stuff on the Reddit. Keep coming in for the podcasts. You guys are coming up with some great ideas that I mean, some of this stuff I never even would have thought of it.
Yeah, and I read everything on Reddit, even though like I fun all the time. I still look at everything and I read it all. And especially for balancing stuff, I'm not the best at doing that. And you guys have helped a lot in terms of balancing the game, especially lately in farming the new animals, which I still think there's a bit of work to be done, but it's been good.
All right, well, let's give our last question a go here, and then we'll jump on into our teaser and our donor coin thing. Lucifax wanted to know, does the seed potion affect the chance of finding star seeds with the star seed potion? Is there some inner potion work there at all?
Next batch there will be, because that's a fantastic idea.
That is
So
that is a great
to,
idea.
to answer the question quickly, no, but yes, next batch.
All right. We're running a little bit short on time here, so let's do our giveaway. Anybody that wants to participate in the giveaway, go ahead and throw a chat of any nature below the line there. I'll copy and paste all the names, and then we will randomly select. What are we doing? Three of the people there.
315 donor coins. So 3 people with 15 donor coins
All right.
each.
That sounds good. So we're gonna grab those. Uh, if you're gonna put your name in multiple times, don't think that's gonna give you any advantage. I've used my extreme Excel skills to limit it so that you only have one unique entry. And while we figure that out, because it does take me just a little second here to figure that out, let me put up the image slideshow that people are probably wanting to see. And Smitty, I'm just gonna go on mute and let you just say a little bit about this.
Sure, yeah. So I'm reading the chat. Yeah, it was good to have the questions in. I'm still surprised how many good questions came up, despite the fact that we had 2 podcasts. And Agro is saying elite achievements. So
I
yeah,
think that's probably a pretty safe bet. Those seem a little bit familiar. Those squares. So
where do you see the squares? I don't see them.
are they coming up on the stream?
They're not for me,
Hmm. Let me just
but
double
people
check.
are saying yes.
Oh
It's
yeah, no,
not.
they're there.
Oh, here they are. Well, there you go. Now I see them. I had to refresh. I guess my stream froze. I was kind of confused why you were asking me to talk about it, but now I get it. Yeah. So They're on their way, guys. Finally, they're coming in. And like before, I answered a question about the loot orbs. Well, I want to wait. Not the loot orbs. Sorry, the red orbs, green orbs, and blue orbs. Well, I want to make sure to get some good perks and elite achievements before releasing new orbs. But they're coming, and they're going to be tough. But yeah, hang in there. If it's not this patch, it's next patch.
All right, guys, if you haven't put your name in for the donor coin entry, and as your last call, I'm giving you another 10 seconds, and then we are going to find our winners. What I will need from you, Smitty, is a number between 1 and whatever our final number is. So if you haven't put a chat in the chat, make sure you do. And we're going to grab you. All right, we're cutting it off. If you missed it, I'm sorry, but we will probably have another one of these shortly. So let me see how many we're working with. We have 37 people in the pool, so I need 3 numbers between 1 and 37.
Let's go with 15, 22, and 32.
That was 15, 22, and 32.
Yes.
All right, sounds great. Lucky numbers 15, 22, and 32. You guys are going to get reached out to directly via Twitch chat. I'm going to grab your Diamond Hunt names from you, and then you will receive your donor coins shortly after the stream. So let's do our wrap up, Smitty. We've got some cool new stuff coming into the game. I'm looking forward to these elite achievements personally.
Yeah.
And I think
I want
this.
to
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh,
Okay.
we're
There's one
gonna
more
get stuck in that
thing.
loop. You go. I'll go.
Yeah.
You go. No.
You go. There's one thing I want to talk about, and it's I talked about it. I talked a lot about it to Mav, and it's to have fighting with teams. So bossing. So you team up with players and you fight a specific monster or a boss. But there's a lot of work to be done if this actually goes live. And if I do it, it's going to be a test at first. It'll be like this little simple boss, and the teaming up system is going to be tested with you guys to see if it works. And the groups, Apple is asking how big the group will be. I don't know yet. This is such an early. This is like I've talked about it for a while in chat, but now I'm actually wrapping my head around it, and I'm actually might do it, but it's gonna take a long time to do because it's not about just like the fight. It's also making a system so you can team up, making sure so when you start your fight, you actually have the right team and you don't have some other random team, and you have to program a way to leave the team to make passwords in case you don't want people to join. You have to make a listing so if you want to have random people in your team to join, like it's a lot of work, but if it actually is something that people want, I will do it, but it'll take time. So I think I'm gonna make a Reddit post about that, and we'll see what happens, I guess. And also, I want to mention that like, it's Diamond Hunt is a game where you play alone most of the time. Like, of course, there's the market and there's the chat, and even if you're not hardcore, you're still playing kind of alone. You get your items, sell to other people, fine. And I don't want to force people to play the game in teams. Because what if like you just play the game and you don't like necessarily talk to anybody in the chat, which I'm sure a lot of people don't even use the chat, which is fine. So I don't want to force people to struggle to find teams to fight and not like opt in on the new items. So that's something to think about too. So I'm on the fence with this. It's difficult, and if I do go for it, it's gonna take a long time to go. So it's got to be worth it, you know. So I hope we have discussions on Reddit or in chat to see what you guys think about this update for team fights, but or bosses. So that's we'll see. But yeah, I guess that's all I'm gonna say for that for now.
All right, well, that's probably a good thing to go on our exit on. I do want to do a quick little drum roll here. Our 3 winners, we had Superbad DH, we had KK Riskers, and we had Gorilla Cutie, Gorilla Cutie spelled differently. I'm gonna ping you guys. Go ahead and hit me up with your Diamond Hunt names when I send you a message, and we'll get you all set up. We're gonna take care of that, Smitty, and then I think there's probably a little Overwatch in our future this afternoon.
Yeah, if you go to Maverick, he's shooting a lot of games, don't you? I think.
Yeah, a lot of variety. Looking forward to the new WoW expansion. Obviously playing Diamond Hunt all the time, but I very rarely stream that. It's a little hard to stream.
Yeah, unless you have opening loot bags from boats before the shiny update. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, but you do play a lot of games, and my favorite game is Overwatch, apart from everything else from Diamond Hunt. But so I do. We're probably going to be playing Overwatch after the stream, the Diamond Hunt stream today. If you guys want to join in on that on Maverick's channel, which we should probably post on screen if you have like a link or something.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to see you guys over there. You can catch me at twitch.tv/the Maverick. I am not a very good speller, so there's no E in there. But you guys can pop on over there, and we'll find ourselves streaming some Overwatch here shortly. Linux, your
Yes, we
question,
did.
yeah, your
Thanks
question
so much for
was in
offering,
there.
and we answered it.
That was a great question. If anybody else had their question missed, we're sorry. We'll make sure that we try and get you next time. Just make sure your questions are up on Reddit beforehand so that we can kind of collect them all. Um, and we'll see you guys all soon.
Thanks, guys. It was good to talk to you. Wait, what's Saran saying? I think he had a question just before we leave. Am I too late?
I don't know. He might have already taken off. Maybe.
Because he said beforehand that we missed this question. I had a question right. Well, say it in chat. You have 10 seconds, bud. Then we're gonna have to go and code some new updates that we figured out from the stream.
Got to get into the updates. All right.
Actually, let me go through the list real quick. We have the old skeleton icon. We have charcoal tradable, hardcore teams, the hardcore things. We have revisit snakegrass for Bob's uncle's farm. Notification box when you log in. Enchantments for weapons, which is really cool, and seed potion to affect star seed potions. That's my list that I have from this podcast.
All right. There you go. Well, I didn't see the question come through. So if there are
Okay.
any other questions, save them up. We'll have another one of these shortly, and we'll put them up on Reddit.
All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you on episode 4. And this episode will be uploaded on YouTube shortly. You'll be able to see it or hear about it soon.
And we will also get the second one back up on YouTube as well. I know that there were some
Yep.
copyright issues,
Yep.
so we'll get that
It's
fixed
coming
up.
up. It's going to come up at the same time as 3.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye, guys.